Obviously, there's a lot more work to this kind of bathroom, and that would make it look very ugly. Okay, so starting a new master bathroom today. So let me show you what I've got and what I need to do. So first off, I made sure that I covered all the hardwood, covered the carpet in the bedroom. I'm going to be this is the Hydraband board, the foam board I'm going to be using for the shower stall. You know, he set it up on sawhorses. It makes it a lot easier to cut. And this is the master bathroom. So the GC's coming. He's going to be putting up drywall as I'm closing this in here. So this is going to be all the Hydraband board. There's going to be a niche here. It's going to be a niche here. There's going to be a vertical waterfall border here. And they don't have enough tile. They want to do two waterfall borders, but they don't have enough tile. So I'll show you in a second. The tile that's going in here is going to be in the niche. The niche is going to have like really long leashes. Bench seat and mud shower floor. And I'll show you what that is in a second. Pretty big shower. Lots of work to do here. The ceiling is not going to be tiled. It's just going to be plastered. And they're going to have frameless glass enclosures for the shower stall. On the floor, we're going to have tile obviously on the floor, but there's a back order on that. But anyway, let me show you the tile. So the tile we have on the walls is this tile here. It kind of has like a wave to it. The herringbone is the shower floor, and the glass mosaic is for the waterfall borders. So let me get started, and I'll check in a little bit. Oh, one more thing. So this is a bathroom I did here. I don't know if you remember, if you see my other video, I did not do this floor, but I did do this tub area. It was a few months ago now. So now we're back to do the master bath. So one important thing that you need to do is make sure that your walls are flat before you put up your board. So that's going to make installing the tile a lot easier. So these walls are not too bad. There's a few studs that have to be addressed. This stud here has a bow in it. As you can see, it's not flat against the sheetrock. Where I put my pencil mark, that's where it's bowing out. So I'm gonna just shave this down with a planer. Here's my planer. Right there, it's just an electric planer. And then I have this stud and this stud that I have to fur out an 1/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to put some ram board on that, and the rest of them are really good. So I'm going to plane this down. I actually have several videos where I show how to do that, so I'm not going to include that in this video. Okay, so this is the progress so far. GC got the ceiling up, or most of the ceiling up anyway. And I'm going to continue with the Hydraband board. Okay, so it's day 2. All the board is up, well, practically all the board, and all the sheetrock is up, ready for plaster. I didn't do that, the GC did. I got my hand to do the ceiling and a few other pieces, but now I'm putting in the mud on the shower floor. I got the floor fixed drain. I got my back screed all done. That's perfectly level. I got one of my side screeds done. I'm gonna go mix some more, and then once I get the mud done, I am going to put these pieces of board on. I didn't want to do that before I did the mud because everything would be fresh and I get it all over me. So this is what I'm working on now. So I'm going to finish up the mud, and then I am going to call it a day. Okay, so that's it for day 2. So board is all in. The mud is all in, pitched to the drain. Next is sheet membrane and banding on the shower floor to seal it up. Flood test. Once the flood test is done, do the shower floor, do the shower walls, and move on from there. Just as a reminder, there's going to be a niche over here, a niche over here. I'm going to cut those out once I know what the layout of the tile is. He wants them very long. There's going to be a waterfall border with that glass herringbone tile, and that glass herringbone is going to go in the niches as well. So anyway, next is shower floor. Waterproof the shower floor, and install the shower floor with some marble tile, so we're going to have to seal that as well. Okay, so it's the start of day 3. The hydroband board is up. Day 1 I put the hydroband board up. Day 2 I put in the mud, and today I am going to be waterproofing the mud. This is what we got. This is all done. This is all set. This is all watertight. You can see I did all the screws here. I didn't do them over here and over here. I didn't seal them up because I got to cut this out. It's going to be a big niche here, and it's going to be a long niche here. So I did the bottom ones, but I didn't do these top ones because I'm going to have to cut those out anyway. Plaster came. He plastered. Everything is all plastered and ready to go. Turn on the light here. Okay, so I got the banding in. Now I cut my sheet membrane. I'm gonna put this in. Okay, so that's it. The sheet membrane is down. That's the Grabo membrane, flow fix drain. Everything else is latticrete. The next step is flood test, then the shower floor. Okay, so that's it for today, because I have to go look for board to figure out this waterfall border, because it's very thin glass tile. So I'm going to see if I can get that these days. It's very hard to get products you need, so I'm hoping that I'll be okay and I'll find what I need. Otherwise I'm just going to have to put it on sheet membrane, which I have. But anyway, that's it. The shower floor is waterproofed. Everything is watertight. Tomorrow flood test. Then I'll work on the glass border, and the shower floor will be the following day. Sure that you flood test your shower floor before you set any tile to make sure there's no leaks. But there's another small step that you want to take to make sure you don't get any false readings, that you don't think you have a leak when you actually don't have a leak. When you put your test plug in, put some water where you can check it to make sure that the test plug isn't leaking. Because the last thing you want to do, flood test your shower, and then the test plug is leaking and you think you have a leak in your shower when actually it's just a faulty test plug. So check that first, so that when you flood test, you're absolutely sure of your results. Okay, so that's been sitting there for a couple of hours. Get some water and flood test. Okay, I'm going to put a mark on there and then we'll check it tomorrow. So I'm back 24 hours later, checking on the flood test, and the water is still at my level there. So that's a pass. Cutting in the shower floor. I'm going to install this today, and when you got marble, it has to be cut on a wet saw. And when you got mosaic tiles, these grooves in the tray make it difficult if you got tiny pieces, because they tend to fall in. So what you do is you get a piece of foam board, you raise the blade so it just barely cuts into it, and that way the tile is supported on both sides, and you get nice clean cuts. So I'm going to finish cutting this in and then mix some thin set and install it. Okay, so building a bathroom is obviously multiple days, and depending on the complexity and the prep work that's required, it could go a lot longer. So this one here, it has the two very long niches. It has the glass, a waterfall border. It has a bench seat and an e-wall. So obviously there's a lot more work to this kind of bathroom than there would be if it was just 3 walls and you just put a couple shelves in. And then I actually had to custom make these niches. I'll have a video about that. But anyway, so the work continues. So yesterday what I did was I installed the bench seat. I protected everything. I made sure that everything, that I wouldn't scratch anything as I worked. It's very important that you protect your work, especially if it's marble tile underneath. It's very delicate. So this is all protected. And then I put a couple of rows of tile in because I wanted to stop one row before the niche so I could figure out exactly the height of the niche, because it's going to be a full tile on the bottom and a full tile on the top. So when you're figuring this out, so here on the sides it's not going to be full tiles because this is just the way it had to be to make it work. So to make it full tile, here's a tip. Don't try and get your niche exactly on the dimensions that you need. Make it slightly bigger. So see here, I got the niche slightly bigger here and slightly bigger here. That way I don't have to be like perfect. So I can get that, and then I measure the top and make it slightly taller so that my top tile comes down a little bit over that. Now I'm not going, because if I miss and I try to get it exact and I miss, what's going to happen is you're going to have a problem, like a little sliver cut there, and that would make it look very ugly and it would be very difficult to do. So just make your niche a little bit bigger. So anyway, continuing with the tile, make sure you sand your edges so you don't get any sharp edges, and that's it. So today I'm going to continue with this wall, try and get to the top. Okay, so that wall is done. Full tile, full tile, full tile, full tile.